They said nobody could touch the roads, not even if a blizzard hit like the end of days, not even if fire trucks got stuck while someone's house burned 6 doors down. Sounds insane, right? But that's exactly what happened on my street, in my so-called peaceful neighborhood. So I did what any halfway sane person would do. I fired up my old military snowblower, cleared the road, gave the fire crews a path, and, yeah, saved a family. 24 hours later, the HOA fined me $800. Can you believe that? They didn't see what was coming next, though. Nobody did. It wasn't just about the snow or the fire or that ridiculous fine. It was about control, what happens when folks who like to bully finally push too far and a community decides, you know what, we're done being pushed. In the end, I cleared more than just a road. We cleared them right out. See, that blizzard wasn't just a storm, it was the kind of event they slap historic on like a warning. The meteorologists screamed about it for days, Arctic front wind chills below 0.3 inches of snow an hour. And you know, after 8 years in Maple Ridge, I'd learned to take those warnings with a grain of salt. Not this time. If anything, they'd undersold it. By dawn, the world outside was gone, just a white void. My pickup buried. Streets erased. 4 feet of wind-packed snow, and it was still coming sideways, rattling the gutters. I'm Russell Merrick, 58, retired Army logistics officer. My wife Sarah, our twin daughters Rachel and Lily, and I, we picked Maple Ridge for the quiet, the schools, the sense that people looked out for each other. What nobody told us about was the Homeowners Association run by Karen Delaney, a 5-member board that treated mailbox colors like matters of national security. I'm not exaggerating either. 6 in the morning, coffee brewing, Strong and Black radio muttering in the background, snow gear by the front door, old habits from my Army days. You know, Sarah comes down, flannel robe, hair all over the place, squints through the glass. It's worse than they predicted, she whispers. And I just nod. Roads are impassable, no plows yet. She asks if the HOA will call a contractor. I laugh dry because it's true they'd issue a citation for breathing too loud before they'd spend money on plowing. These folks, Karen and her clipboard brigade, once threatened a neighbor for leaving jack-o'-lanterns out past November 3rd. Last spring, they went after a veteran for flying the American flag on a pole that hadn't been pre-approved. I wish I was kidding. But even Karen couldn't ignore a storm like this. Around 9, power flickered. The girls played cards by lantern light just in case. What got me most wasn't the snow, but the silence. No traffic, no dogs barking, no nothing. Just this thick, muffled hush, like the world was buried alive. It felt like we were the last family on Earth. Then after noon, I heard it, the sirens faint at first, then louder. They stalled, stuck nearby. We froze, listening to that desperate wail. I yanked the door open, wind stealing my breath. Through the whiteout, I saw those red and amber lights strobing, trapped, and farther down, smoke rising. Somebody's house was burning, and the trucks couldn't move. Sarah gripped my arm. Someone's house is burning. They can't reach it. I didn't stop to think. Years in the Army drilled it into me, assess, act. I sprinted to the garage, hauled up the door, and there it was. My post-retirement project, a surplus Army snowblower. Ugly as sin, but a beast-reinforced blade-heated cab diesel heart. 5 winters I'd spent tinkering with her. That engine caught on the second try, roaring awake. Something old in me, mission clarity, snapped into place. I punched the throttle, headlights tunneling through the storm blade, biting into drifts, hurling snow skyward. Faces appeared in windows, neighbors stepping out in parkas, just watching. A few started waving me on. When I reached the fire crew, a young firefighter in frozen gear banged on my window. "You just gave us the minutes we needed." I nodded, reversed, widened the lane, and cut straight to the burning house. The rest is a blur, hoses snaking down the path, freezing steam, the sharp smell of burning wood. Took nearly an hour, but the flames finally surrendered. The house was scorched, but still standing. No one died. 3 people pulled out alive, 2 of them kids. By dusk, the snow let up a little. I came home coated in ice and sweat. Sarah hugged me tight, smelling of wood smoke and relief. She whispered, "You probably saved their lives." But I wasn't after recognition. I just did what needed doing. Still sitting by the fireplace that night, staring at the flames, I had a knot in my gut. Because see, in Maple Ridge, paperwork moves faster than common sense. And the clipboard crowd, they never miss a beat. Sure enough, next morning as I'm making pancakes, there's a knock. 2 short raps, 1 long. I spot him through the peephole, HOA parka earmuffs, clipboard clutched tight. Russell Merrick. That's me. He thrusts a yellow violation notice at me, all official unauthorized removal of snow on HOA-maintained infrastructure. Fine assessed at $800. It was right there underlined in red. I said, "You're kidding." He said, "I don't make the rules, sir," already turning away. Sarah's face went pale. "They fined you for saving lives." The girls fell silent. I folded the paper, set it on the counter. I knew how people like Karen operate. They feed on outrage, on drama, on any reaction they can spin against you. I wasn't going to give them the satisfaction. But as I stared out at the snow-covered street, the path I'd carved, I felt something harden in me. The neighborhood saw what mattered when everything else was buried. Paperwork, no matter how official, couldn't bury that truth forever. By lunchtime, the news was everywhere. Someone posted a blurry photo of my rig pushing snow fire truck lights in the background. Comments exploded. "This is insane. He saved the Valanuelas." Karen needs to explain herself. People started a petition. Sarah looked at me, eyes bright. "They're angry, Russell. Really angry." And I thought, good. Because when a community gets angry for the right reason, things change. Neighbors came by telling me the board was calling my actions reckless, posting about liability and the importance of approved contractors. I just smiled. "She's scared," I told Tom. He laughed. Damn right she was. People started talking about a special meeting, about signatures, about finally pushing back. The fire had cracked something open. By the next morning, Angela Vasquez, the kind of neighbor who actually reads the bylaws, showed up with 62 signatures and a thermos of coffee. "We need 30% to call the vote. We're at 24. Close enough to taste." She had the girls color code streets by signature. Names piled up, people who'd had enough. The rule book was clear: 30% for a vote, 60% to dissolve the board. We were halfway. Outside, the lane I'd cut was shrinking under new drifts. Angela caught me looking at the garage. "Don't go out again, not yet. Let them stew. Let everyone see what happens when nobody else plows." By noon, someone posted dashcam footage of my rig leading the fire truck. This is what leadership looks like, not fines. The board posted a long statement about insurance and liability. 217 comments, 98% against. I didn't need to say anything. The neighborhood spoke for me. Next day, more snow, but the city plows still hadn't come. The HOA's contractor was a ghost. So first light, I fired up the old snowblower again. Neighbors joined in, Tom with his John Deere, Frank with his little blower, nobody asking, nobody texting plans, just moving. By midday, the streets were clear. Kids out for the first time in days. Someone set a thermos of hot chocolate on a tailgate. The neighborhood exhaled. Then an email read, bold, "Unauthorized snow equipment deployment. Cease immediately." Threats of escalating fines, legal action, even property liens. I printed the email on red paper, tacked it to the community board with one line: "I opened the road so your children could breathe." By morning, notes covered the board. "Thank you, Russell. No fine is worth a life." Even a kid's drawing a green plow, a red fire truck, a house with smoke. Karen Delaney showed up, bundled in fur, flashlight in hand, tearing down every note, stuffing them in a bag. She thought nobody was watching, but half a dozen neighbors stood across the street, silent, just watching. Angela stepped out, voice calm. "We'll see you Saturday." Karen flinched, muttered something, and left. Saturday, the vote. Clubhouse packed, over 80% signatures. Larry from the county ran the meeting. Karen tried to spin me as a public menace. His unauthorized actions violated covenants, but nobody bought it. Ballots passed, hands raised. Final count: 182 yes, 21 no. The board dissolved. Karen protested, but Larry, "Cool as you please," said, "County certifies this. You are relieved of authority immediately." She stormed out, purse swinging. For the first time in years, Maple Ridge breathed free. Sunday morning, a handwritten sign on the clubhouse: "Closed for maintenance." Karen and Harold, her last loyalist, blocking the door. They claimed the vote was illegitimate, shopped for lawyers. Sarah, my wife, smartest person I know, dug up the bylaws, found a clause the board had always ignored. If the board refused to turn over power within 72 hours of a legal vote, the county could force it with us holding the keys. Angela filed the paperwork, county confirmed it, clock started ticking. Friday, county rep in a blazer arrived, brisk handshake. Previous board forfeited authority. Karen, defiant to the end, flung the clubhouse keys into the snow. Fine, take it, watch the place fall apart. I picked them up. We opened the doors. Musty air stacks of violation notices. A whiteboard listing enforcement priorities. Mailbox, colors, snow interference. Sarah and the girls brought donuts and we went to work. No celebration, just quiet relief. Spring came slow, snow melted, grass poked through, kids played outside. People built a free library on the corner. I started writing at night so my daughters would remember. Not for a book deal, just to get it right. I walk the neighborhood sometimes and there's a bronze plaque by the sign out front. Community is not enforced. It is chosen, built, and protected together. No name, no date, just truth. I think about that blizzard sometimes, the one where I cleared a road and ended up clearing out an entire board. When the snow comes back, and it always does, we'll be ready. Not because someone wrote a rule, but because now finally we remember what matters. Because we choose every day to keep the road open. So let me ask you, what would you have done? Would you have left the snow, followed the rules, let a family burn because the paperwork said, no plowing allowed? Or would you have fired up the rig rules, be damned, and cut a path? Tell me, where's the line in your eyes between order and decency? And if you've ever stood up to a bully, especially the clipboard kind, I want to hear about it. Drop your story below. Let's see how you keep your own roads open.